tell you a couple stories. I don't know. We'll see how long the first story takes to tell you guys. But if you are an OG subscriber, you might remember these giant headphones. I can't find my small headphones. Like, I usually put in earbuds when I do ASMR videos now, but I can't find them. So I brought out these because I like to be able to hear myself to make sure that the sound sounds good for you guys on your end. So I am wearing the OG headphones that my fiance gave me for Christmas like a year or two ago. But anyway, I guess let's get into the story, and I'm gonna start having my seaweed. I love seaweed. I don't know about you guys. It's like my favorite thing to snack on lately. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you guys a story about my roommate's bachelorette party when we were in college. I was a freshman in college, so I was 19. And this happened towards like the end of the semester. So my roommate, I'm gonna call her Rihanna. I don't know why. So my roommate, my first semester of college, her name was Rihanna, and she was in a polyamorous relationship. So she was in like a throuple, I guess you could also call it. I hope that's not disrespectful. Let me know if it is in the comments, please. She was in a throuple, so she was with a guy. I can't remember their names right now off the top of my head. She was with a guy and a girl, and the guy and the girl were in a relationship before, and then they added Rihanna to the relationship after they had been together for like 2 years. And anyway, the guy proposed to both of them and wanted to marry both of them. So they decided, even though we were like 19 and I think our partners were 20, they decided they wanted to get married. I don't know why you feel the rush, especially when we're still in college. Like, weddings are expensive. Why not just wait? I don't know. Anyway. So, she wanted to get married, but she wanted to get married like kind of far from our college. So, I just knew I wasn't going to be able to go. I didn't have a car. My mom was not willing to drive me up there just to go to her wedding. But neither could my best friend Jane. I mentioned my best friend Jane in my video where I was talking about boy drama. I always use her real name even though I shouldn't. But really, Jane is just a nickname. It's not her real name. So I'm just gonna keep calling her Jane. Anyway, my friend Jane said to me, I can't go to Rihanna's wedding, and I was like, me neither, and I kind of don't want to go because like we weren't really that close. So Jane was like, why don't we just like throw her a little shower or party? And I was like, I can't afford to buy her a gift, so it's gonna have to be a party. And she was like, how about a bachelorette party? And I was like, perfect. So she asked some of Rihanna's friends if they'd like to do like a bachelorette party with us. And of course they were like, yeah, but most of them were sober, so they didn't want to like contribute to paying for the alcohol. Understandable. So anyway, there's this one friend, we're gonna call her Jessica, and I had seen her around campus, and even though I was like talking to Amanda, who I mentioned in the boy drama video, like I had just started like dating her. Like we were kind of official, but not really. Like we hadn't really put a label on it, but we were only seeing each other. Like before me and nothing ever came of it. We didn't even say hi to each other. We just matched. And so this girl Jessica, Jane is like Jessica's gonna come with us to the like liquor store with my brother, and we're gonna like tell him what alcohol to get and everything. So we go to the liquor store, and we tell him what we want, and he goes in and gets it. And as he's inside, we're just sitting in the car, and Jessica is like, oh my god, you and Jane are so pretty. You guys are like the prettiest girls on campus, like seriously. And I was like, oh my god, you're so pretty. Like, I was just trying to be nice, knowing that we matched. But like, I didn't really want to talk about that because of Amanda. I was like talking to her for real, and I was like, yeah, you're really pretty. And so we're like saying that we're pretty, and this guy pulls up next to us, blasting like Future or something. Like, it was 2016, so like that's what was popular at the time. And he looks over and he's like, and I'm like, I start laughing because I don't know, because it was funny to me. It wasn't funny now that I'm thinking about it, because he's a grown man. We're just like these little college girls sitting in a car by ourselves. So I start laughing, and he's like, and he gets out of the car with the music still blasting and opens the driver's side door, even though Jane's brother was in the liquor store. And I start dying laughing, like I'm literally sobbing, laughing. And Jane is like, close the door, close the door, close the door. I was like, I can't, he's standing right there. He's like, what's up, ladies? What y'all getting into tonight? And I'm laughing. And Jane's like, shut the door, my brother's gonna come out and he's gonna beat your ass. Anyway, I pulled out my phone to record him so I could put him on Snap, and that's when he like scurried away back to his car. Jane's brother comes out and he's like, what was that all about? And Jane's like, it's Noella's fault. She let him open the door, like she wouldn't lock the door. And I was like, that was funny. But it wasn't funny. That was not cool. But so we get in the car. Jane's brother is not drunk, mind you. He's not drunk. We get in the car, we start heading back to school, and Jane's brother, so like, I don't even know how to explain this. There's like, where I went to school is very like big city, not very big, but like a sizable city, one of the biggest cities in Massachusetts. And there's a bunch of exits to get off. Like, we were going to like a smaller like suburb outside of the city, and there's like a bunch of exits on the way there. So there's this one exit that like, it's an on-ramp, but there's like an exit up top. So like, if you are trying to get on the highway, you either go to the left and get on the highway, or you go to the right and it's like a overpass thing. We're just driving along. He's going kind of fast. All of a sudden, he like swerves over the like the on-ramp, and we end up like, I swear to God, the car goes like straight up, and we just go right up over onto the overpass. Jane and Jessica are in the back seat screaming. I'm holding on for dear life. I'm like so shocked that like I didn't have time to like really register what was happening. I just went, and Jane and Jessica are in the back seat like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna die right now. Anyway, we get up onto the overpass. He starts going like 15 miles an hour, like he's going wicked slow. And he's like, oh, I thought this was the exit for y'all's school. And we were like, no, like, this isn't even the right exit. Like, it was the next exit you're supposed to take. And he was like, my she's like, go get Rihanna and go to dinner with her, like at the dining hall, and I'm gonna start setting up the room. And I was like, but what about you? You're not gonna eat dinner? And she's like, I'll just have ramen. I was like, okay. So I go to the room, ask Rihanna to go to dinner with me. She's happy to go. So we go, we eat, and I'm like, can we go to Jane's after this? She asked us to stop by. And she was like, oh yeah, she said something about her homework. And I was like, oh, okay. Perfect. So we got there, and she opens the door, and everyone's like, surprise, and everything. It's just like shocked. So Jane has like, I think we only had like Smirnoff Ice, is that what it's called? Like the little mixed drinks. And then we had like a bottle of vodka. And I think it was like grape vodka or something that like really did not taste good. But is there a vodka that tastes good? If you guys think there's a vodka that tastes good, let me know in the comments, because I don't think there's a vodka that tastes good. It tastes like rubbing alcohol to me. But, so, I'm going. So I go and sit down, like, on Jane's desk chair. Jane was like, her roommate ended up not coming, so she had a single, so we didn't have to worry about the roommate and noise and all that. It's just Jane. So we all sit down, we're like eating the snacks and everything and just chatting, and like the friends who are sober are still there, so we don't want to start drinking while they're still there. They ended up calling it a night around like 8 o'clock. I understand that now. Like, now that I've matured more, I understand. I don't really drink like that anymore. But at the time, I'm like, that's what I'm here for. I'm drinking. So, we sit down. I'm sitting on the desk chair still. It's like, I don't know why at our college for desk chairs, we didn't have like rolly chairs. They were like rocking chairs. So I'm sitting there, and Jane's brother is like, let's play a drinking game. And I was like, okay, bet. So we played this game. It was like on Jane's phone, and it was like truth or dare or drink. So you either do the truth or, like, you pick truth or dare, and then if you don't want to do the truth or dare, then you drink. So we're playing, and I didn't want to like really play, so I just kept drinking. It would be like stand up and twerk in the middle of a circle, or drink 2 shots. And like normally I'd pick twerking in the middle of the circle, but I drank 2 shots because I just wanted to get drunk. I was in college, you know, I was stupid. So I'm steady drinking. I'm probably like 8 shots deep, which I'm sure to some people they're probably like, that's not even that bad. It was bad for me. Like, I was feeling it. So finally it's Jessica's turn, and she gets truth or dare or whatever. She chooses dare, and her dare is make out with the hottest person in the room or take 2 shots. And she goes, all I know is I'm not taking 2 shots. And she gets up and sits on my lap and starts making out with me. And it was not a good kiss. It was like, and I was just like, what the hell is happening? And I hear everybody else in the room go, huh? And then just like complete silence. And then she gets off and she's like, whoa, or something like that. And I was just like, and Jane goes, she has a girlfriend. What are you doing? She has a girlfriend. And Jessica goes, you do? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. And she just like sits down and she's like, I'm so sorry. I did not know. And I was like, it's okay. I could have like said something when you like got up. Like, I should have said something. And she was like, yeah. And I'm I'm just sitting there like, oh my god, I can't wait for this night to be over. So I end up taking the bottle and just like holding it, and I was like, I don't want to play anymore. And they were like, okay. So I'm just holding the bottle, taking sips. They're still playing. Everything just like, it just seems like no one's really having fun playing, you know? Anyway, and I'm just sitting there thinking, oh my god, Amanda, how am I gonna tell her that I just made out with this girl at the party? So I'm like, I'm texting Amanda, but I'm not saying anything about what happened. I'm just like, I'm so tired, I think I'm gonna go to bed. And she was like, me too. I'll see you in the morning, I love you, or whatever. She didn't say I love you, but something like that, like good night, beautiful. And I'm like, good night. I'm an idiot. So I tell Jean I just want to go to sleep. So she's like, okay, good, because I don't want my RA to like hear us talking and like come in, or like, you know, because then we have to hide the alcohol. And I was like, okay, can you just walk with me back to my room? So she did, and then she wiped all my makeup off for me. It was so sweet. And I ended up calling my best friend, who was living in Miami at the time, and I was like, I did something bad and I made out with this girl, and yeah. And she was like, oh my god, are you gonna tell Amanda? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, don't tell her right now, like wait until you have a clear head. So I go to sleep. Next morning I wake up, immediate stomach pains. I'm like, oh my god, I'm hungover. So I just lay on the floor because it's cold and I need the cold. So I'm laying on the floor with a trash can next to me, like throwing up in the trash can. And Jane comes just to check on me, and she's like, oh my god, I didn't know you were gonna get sick. And I was like, well, I'm on my period, but like I drank too much. And she was like, yeah. And she was like, do you want me to get you like Tums or something? And I was like, I don't know. And then Jessica ended up like just happened to be walking by, and she's like, oh my god, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm hungover and I got my period. And she's like, I'm gonna go get you some ginger tea, I'll be right back. And she brought me ginger tea and I drank it, and I was like, did we make out last night? And she was like, yeah, I'm so sorry again, like really, I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's okay. And I said, I'm just letting you know now, I'm gonna have to tell this girl that I'm talking to, because it would be wrong of me not to tell her. And she was like, yeah, I understand. So she leaves. I'm sitting there like drinking the tea, starting to feel better, and Jane is like, so you made out with Jessica last night? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I made out with Jessica last night too. And I was like, what? Don't you have a boyfriend? And she's like, yeah, but like it just happened. Like I was trying to get her to calm down because she was kind of drunk, and she just started like feeling me up, and then we kissed. And I was like, she was like, I kind of felt like I had to, because like we were so close together in bed. And I was like, oh my god, that's not okay. And she's like, the worst part is my brother made out with her too. And I was like, what? And she said, I thought they were gonna have sex because they were making out like a lot. And I was like, oh no, like this is not good. But then it also made me feel like, not better, but like it made me feel like it wasn't just me, you know. So oh, I have one more piece of seaweed. So I'm like, I'm gonna tell Amanda, and she's like, you can choose not to tell Amanda, you know. And I was like, I know, but I really think does she know that we're together? And I was like, no. She had no idea, and she said sorry like a billion times after it happened. And then she was just like, like, our relationship's still new, but like, don't do that again. And I was like, yeah, I understand. And I said, unfortunately, the girl also made out with Jane and made out with Jane's brother. And she was like, oh no, fuck that, like, sorry, pardon my French. She was like, F that, like, that's all on her. Like, she was just being messy and she brought you into it. And I was like, yeah, I guess, but I should have like said something or pushed her off of me or something. And she's like, no, I feel like it would have happened no matter what. And I was like, I guess. So yeah, Amanda wasn't really that upset with me because of the circumstances. Even though, like I said, if I was in that situation, I think I probably would have broken up with her. Because really, like, I feel like if I was dating someone and they made out with someone at a party and like didn't even really tell the girl, like, hey, before you put your lips on me, I have a girlfriend, I probably would have broken up with them, especially at the time. I was wicked possessive. So I don't know, but we stayed together for like another 4 months probably, and yeah, that ended up not really going well. But I feel bad that I did that still. Like, whenever I was dating and like people would ask me, have you ever cheated on a partner before, I would tell them about that, because I do feel like even though I didn't have a lot of time to think and I was drunk, I do feel like I should have done something. A lot of people tell me that, like, what could you do? Like, you were so like shocked and like taken aback by it, like, what could you do? But I don't know, I do feel like when you're dating someone, you do have the responsibility to like make it known that you are with someone. I don't know, I could be wrong, but yeah, I have a lot of regret for that, and I feel bad that it happened. I feel like it takes two to tango, you know. But yeah, that was one of the crazier nights when I was in college. I have other crazy stories, but I think since this one took longer than I thought, I think I'll do a different video talking about college story times. I used to be in an African dance team, and some of the people were racist, so I was going to tell you guys about that. If you do want to hear about it, let me know. And there was a different time that I got really drunk. I can't even remember what I did, but I was going to tell you guys about that too. But I'll do it in another video. Maybe I'll do like a big video of like different story times from college. I don't know. Let me know if you guys would actually want that, because if not, then I'll just leave it. But yeah, I was crazy. Like, I don't even remember. But really, like, I really feel that that's what college is all about. Just like learning your limits with like alcohol and drugs and whatnot, knowing like when to have a good time and when to like buckle down and study and do your homework, you know. And no, nowadays I am 28. I don't really drink, unless it's a special occasion. Like, the last time I drank, it was our friend's wedding, and I took like 2 sips of champagne for the champagne toast. And before that, the last time I drank, so that was in September. The time I drank before that was in like 2023, so it's been like 2 years. And I only had a drink because we got a free drink ticket when we went to a softball game. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll just get a mixed drink. And then I like chugged it, and I was like, I'm just trying to get it over with. And my fiance was like, that's not healthy. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. And then I didn't drink a lot after that. I didn't drink it at all really after that. But ever since, like, not just that one incident in college, but like ever since college, I really don't like smoking and drinking. Like, I feel like I had my fun, and like I don't really like how I acted when I was was drunk. So I just don't do that. Like, I'll just have like a drink here and there, like a Mike's Hard Lemonade, or like, what are the other things? I'm trying to think of, like, those little like wine coolers is what they call them. Like, I'll have that every once in a while, but really I haven't done that in a long time. I would imagine that if I went out with one of my friends, and we ended up like at a bar or a club or something, that like maybe I would get a mixed drink if I wasn't driving. Maybe I would get a mixed drink, but really, I don't really do that anymore. But yeah, and I hope you guys know, if you're a college student, if you're someone that likes to drink or whatever, I'm not trying to judge you. I just don't like the way that I personally act when I drink or smoke. So I haven't smoked in, well, I haven't smoked in like 5 years, so it's been a long time. I especially don't like how I act when I smoke. Like, I get really paranoid. I don't know why. I think it's just like the way that my brain works. But yeah, now this video is getting wicked long and I went off on a tangent about sobriety. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you guys want to hear more of my college stories, I will definitely post them. Like, I do like telling these story times, and I can tell that you guys like the story times too. So yeah, bye. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't believe we hit over 100 subscribers, so thank you guys so much for sticking around and for subscribing to my channel. I promise that I will try to post more often. I feel like I'm starting to